after 9 this beautiful Monday morning. Thank God it's Monday. We don't always say thank God it's Friday. We should say thank God it's Monday. Thank God it's Monday. It's a beautiful day to be alive. It's a beautiful day to be here sharing this morning with you. You're tuned to Women Radio 91.7 FM, the voice of women, Nigeria's first and only radio station for women and their families. My name is Fobi Bangala, and you're on to HerLens this morning, where we have conversations with different women from the different geopolitical zones in Nigeria. We basically tackle life issues uh, plaguing Nigeria and Nigerians, at large. And this morning we have Buki Femi Ajala with us. The other ladies are yet to join us, but you already know that we can make magic regardless, whether it's just one lady or the other ladies. Good morning, Buki. How are you this morning?
Yes, Buki is doing great, and I want to thank God. It's nice to be back. So, how are you too? And then, of course, Alan's family, how are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? April is rolling. Today is 13th. I just realized that.
Yes.
Today, before you know what is happening, we're already counting May 1st, and that was because a discussion happened this morning. We were trying to come up with a training, and somebody just said, oh, okay, hold on. Workers' Day is coming. I said, oh, really? May 1st? Oh, my God.
Yeah. It's around the corner.
In all things and for all things, let's just be thankful, that we're alive, and we will go through. We'll go through.
Yeah. Yes.
We are doing as well.
We are live on YouTube at WFM 917. You can also listen to us on the go via our website, www.wfm917.com. The phone lines will be open shortly. But before then, you can send your messages 703-1756-537 or 08155917917. Okay, let us get into it, because the first story that we're going to be talking about, I was like, is this real? Did it happen? And that's where we see some women leaders in Okrika local government area in River State. They were moving around with cane to flog ladies notorious for indecent dressing in their community. Do we have a serious, is it epidemic or pandemic? Which is the right one? Epidemic of indecent dressing. Yes, we do. We see a lot of, like, me, and you can say, oh, I thought you were one of us. I thought you were Gen Z. Look, what is bad is bad. Let's not lie. Well, sometimes when I see some outfits, I am worried. And I'm like, did you leave your house in that outfit? Okay, yes to liberation, yes to people doing whatever they want to do with their bodies, okay. But my sensibilities sometimes are very, very attacked. I'm not going to lie. My pastor has this saying. He says there's some of you who go to shop in baby sections at clothing stores, and I always have a good laugh. But I watched a movie over the weekend and I said, yeah, that's the the skirts that my own daughter can wear is what you're wearing. But okay, but these women went about. The question is, do they have a right to do so? Yes, we have a serious issue about indecent dressing, right? But this is not just in Nigeria, it's worldwide. But are we upset about it because of the climate that we're in? We are very, very, we don't like things like that. We believe in decent dressing, in modesty and things like that. But if you even go through the comment section of this, some comments caught my eye. Some people say it is lawlessness. Some people say it's because the women are protecting their husbands. They don't want their husbands to be looking at these girls. I mean, so many things. Some people saying it's woman that do woman, So I'm just gonna let Buki go ahead to share her thoughts, her opinions on this. I mean, I know what you want to say, but carry on, Buki.
Let me start with this picture. As you were talking, I just remembered this picture that I saw. It was a lady at the airport, local airport, boarding the plane together. You could actually see her nipples. The dress she was wearing was more like, as far as I'm concerned, she was naked. You understand? She wasn't putting on the bra. And then, of course, underneath, you could, yes, I mean, she had her panties on, but you could actually see. I mean, it was like someone is naked and then you now put on a revealing, full of holes. And see, Toba Moju, I mean, I want to go into Yoruba. Oh, yeah, come on, you pay and you understand? Because everybody, even men, it was like, excuse me, are you okay? You know the way they were looking. You understand? I agree that it's your body, but however, I quickly remembered that I had stumbled upon a particular section, that talks about not explicit in terms of indecent dressing, because you see, indecent dressing is, what is it? What does it mean? Indecent dressing to you might mean something different to me. So it's not like you stole. When they say you stole, that means you took something. But indecent dressing, what does it mean? So but what they said was that something that would penalize. I'm trying to look for it, because in section 231 of the Criminal Code Act punishes willful indecent acts in public with up to 2 years in prison. Recent interpretation, specifically in Delta State, well, they are citing that, but they are saying there's a particular place I'm looking. It's not there, but it's talking about if you make somebody to commit fornication or adultery. That is something they said around that, sensual something. If you are promoting that sexual thing, then they call it indecent dressing. I mean, we can always check it. I just remembered now. I will have probably gotten a full grasp of it, but it can be cited there. I do not know what happened in Africa, whatever, but I want to believe, this is a community. It's still communal. It's not cosmopolitan like we have in Lagos. They still keep their values. And I know they probably have, those women associations, that they come together. They're still communal, they still have that sense of belonging, that sense of tradition, of keeping who they are, and it's possible over time they have found out that it must have started with a set of ladies, and gradually their children are imbibing that culture of dressing indecently to them. And then, of course, I also want to believe that, yes, men are moved by what they see. That's it, and I also believe that it has been affecting, the stability of their homes and things like that. And they decided to do what they think they need to do, go around and cleaning them. Is that right? I don't agree. It's not right. You don't take laws into your hands. You don't do that. More so that we have laws guarding us and all that. Are there better ways about it? Absolutely yes. Like I mentioned, they have what do you call the women association and all that. They ought to be grooming their children, if they have not, you understand. And then, because it's communal in nature, I want to believe that there is what you call, the owners of the custodians of tradition, that they could have actually approached them, you understand, and they will call a town hall meeting or call them, to say, sorry, you can wear these things in your house, but when it comes out, when you want to come out in this community, we want sanity, We want people to dress properly, and they should define it that, okay, do not expose your upper part, and then of course your lower part also, let it be covered. You understand? So they can actually dialogue with them, and ensure that they do it. When I say ensure, it's not just a one-time thing. They need to continue. And this is where we talk about all those aspects that I always mention, the spheres of influence. When you're building a nation, they could organize drama nights and talk about it, dramatize it, the effect of this. It's communal, sort of, you understand? And then of course teach it in schools, you understand? And then when they're having their town hall meetings or their gatherings and things like that, they can actually do it. And then women to girls, they can actually begin to have those associations, those gatherings, to do that. And then of course, generally speaking, which is where media and entertainment, they have actually brought it out that you can wear anything. So this is where we also have to come in cautiously and let people know that indecent dressing, indecent dressing to me, there are parts that we say they are public and they are private. Do not open your private parts to people. For a lady, it's your breast, and of course down below. So for me, those are. I remember when I was growing up, you dare not wear, in my mother's house or in my father's house, you dare not wear, a dress that does not have a sleeve. It must have a sleeve. Particularly if you are going to church, it must have a sleeve. If it does not have a sleeve, you can't wear it. There was one pink dress I love. Chai. Pink dress, get sleeve. It was my uncle that bought it for me from America. I could not wear it though. I just have to be wearing it in the house. That was the discipline we had at that time. So way forward is this. We as mothers, we as guardians, we as people who mentor, I think we need to pass those values down. And this is where fathers, also have a say in it, that let's get them, very young to dress appropriately, for an occasion. Fine, if you are going to the beach or something like that, yeah, you understand, but can we begin to dress appropriately? And it's just about manners and etiquette. So back to Okrika people, they are taking laws into their hands. I pray that they don't flog somebody and that person, collapses or whatever it is. I think there are better ways of doing that. Yes, I think there are better ways of doing that. What they're trying to do indirectly, is to preserve their tradition of dressing properly, and also to prevent their men. I'm sure if you really investigate, some men have started doing some things. And when I say, no, we cannot continue like this, because
but so is it the girl's fault or the man's fault? His lack of
in this case, of course, we will always say it's the man's fault. You understand? It's man's fault, because even if you don't want to see whatever, you can say, please, can you cover up? I remember seeing a man, a man who saw, the girl wasn't properly dressed, you understand? And the man walked up to her to say, please, can you cover up? This is not right for the eyes, And the man walked up, and I was looking, and of course the lady, thankfully she had a shawl, and he just put the shawl around her, and the man said thank you. So we also, men also have a part to play in this, to condemn what, they might say, after all, they are wearing it because of us and all that. Yeah, underneath it, but that's an argument. Some would say it's my body and I want to be free. I mean all that, but underneath it, let's see the real thing. Why do you want to show us everything? You understand? Yeah, so I like that covering, and that's why I will always say for a woman, I know you know where I'm going. If you go to a supermarket, you see bread, fresh bread. You understand? But the nylon is torn. And the other one too, the nylon is intact. Which one will you pick? You pick the one that the nylon is intact now. It's called private part, and it's meant for privacy, not public.
Thank you so much, Vicky. I want you to call us. The phone lines are now open. Tell us, what do you say or think about the way ladies dress sometimes, which is really the bone of contention in Okrika community in Rivers State? Are you like, look, it's their body, live and let live, or are you like, it's getting too much, it's getting out of hand? The numbers to call 07000 917 917 or 09155 917 917. You can text or text us or WhatsApp us on 0703 1756 537 or 08155 917 917. The question really is, the way my gender used to dress now, is it something that you're like, are you team leave them alone, right? Or are you team actually we need girls to start dressing properly? I had given an example last week, I think on Newspaper Review to Rose. I said I had watched I was on Twitter and I saw this girl, not TikTok, I think. She had come out to say, you people should be training your mothers, because your mothers are not minding their businesses. What had happened was the girl wore, I think, a crop top. Now, me, I'm a lover of crop tops. I'm not even going to lie, but I don't do like by crop top again. No, you have to see crop top, and that's to the point that Buki raised, that what is modesty to me and what is proper dressing to me and what's improper dressing to somebody else. And this woman on the bus was like, why are you dressed like this? Is this how you're meant to be dressed? Your stomach is showing one thing. And then of course, initially the girl, interestingly, it wasn't even the girl that was being spoken to that was recording. It was another passenger on the vehicle that was recording the conversation. I was like, people should be warning your mothers. And the girl was initially calm, but then the woman kept on going at her. Next thing, the girl that started abusing the woman back. But since you don't want to have sense, I'm gonna give you some sense. And it was just a very, very interesting situation. So, Buki, I would want to ask: is it? I mean, you've already said it, that they're going against the law in Africa, because why would you want to beat somebody for what they are wearing, right? And as long as there's no law that says, oh, girls should not wear something or girls should wear something, everybody's entitled to whatever they want to wear. But the question really is, are we allowed to tell? We do have a call. Give me a second. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Elizabeth, calling from Lagos.
Good morning, Elizabeth. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I had no attempt on Friday. I called in on Friday to speak on the school issue. What happened in the school? And I had to also touch on dressing.
Okay.
But when after my phone call, of course, the beautiful Susan, who is always making very beautiful comments, made some remarks. And I was trying to call back to explain that this was what I meant. And thank God the topic today, what we are discussing today, what the Okikaku did was absolutely illegal. And in correcting people, I correct people a lot, especially on dressing. If I'm able, in the cases where I'm able to correct. But then, I want to say that what Buki just explained is very, very right. I remember that mentioned that only Kovokale, she will not agree because she had worked with, I think, an NGO that deals with issue of rape and stuff, that dressing is not the cause of maybe rape and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to say that I was not saying that is the many other causes. There are many that we need to highlight. But to exempt dressing from the cause of rape, I think that would be very, very wrong. And one of the things she mentioned then was that those who even wear hijab are raped. One the baby is raped. But the fact remains that is that most of the victims of rape are not even the cause of it. And that's why I was trying to say issue of dressing should be seen as something that we have to take up as a society. The indecent dressing, one people of lady, that day we were talking about dancing, provocative dancing.
Yes, the inter-house sport.
Yes. As a matter of fact, it will not even be the girl. It will be affected by whoever is sexually provoked.
Mm-hmm.
And for the victim. Dressing, we should not alienate it, even though we should appropriate to. But you dress the way you in our society, it's causing a lot of us. I was on Okada about 2 weeks ago while in Ibadan. The Okada man rider who had the earring on his head, a man. I didn't see the lady. She was Moses. What is it? I must not mention. Mentioning the private part of that clinic outside. I don't know how that thing looked. For him to have made such a comment. So if we are different in our dressing, we should not give room. As in, just tell them, yes, you dress the way you like, it doesn't move anybody. It does. It's a major cause. Because it's also a major cause. Drugs and other things are also involved. Of what we have happening now, rape every now and then. It's just too much fun. And many innocent people are falling victim just because somebody had allowed what was inside somebody else. And then the person will look at every opportunity. It's those victims are the ones that cannot help themselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for calling. Truly appreciate you, Elizabeth. I would like to say that, while we know that dressing is important and it plays a role, I wouldn't say that. I think I would agree with Susan when she says dressing. I don't think that dressing is the major proponent when it comes to rape. I think that an animal is an animal, regardless of whether the man is looking at someone who's fully dressed or not. But that's not to say that we shouldn't address the issue of indecency. Again, what is indecent to you might be indecent to somebody else. For instance, there's some ladies that if they sew a dress, a show a or whatever, they like a little bit of cleavage. Now, for me, who grew up in my parents are pastors, that's a no-no. As how even now, when I wear certain things, right? I'm married, I have children. My mother is looking at me with side eye, right? So sometimes I struggle with those things, but at the same time, I like a good crop top. I like shorts. I like to wear shorts, but sometimes I'm not going to lie. Sometimes when I wear them at home and I'm about to step up my house, I ask myself different questions. Are you sure you are meant to wear this thing outside? If I see somebody who's dressed that way, oh, you look good. I'm not going to go out of my way, but my eyes will be saying things. I wouldn't say anything. Interestingly, I traveled last week or 2 weeks ago, and on the plane, there was this lady who wore, I don't know what to call it. Honestly, don't know what to call it. Underwear. I don't even know what to call it. And it was like a play suit, but it was I don't know what to call it. And my eyes were on her from the moment we boarded to the moment we deboarded. And I didn't understand what she was wearing. I still don't understand it till now. And I was just like, wow. And she was with her mother. She's not a young girl. She's probably in her late 20s, early 30s. She was a mature young lady, right? But she was with her mom. I said to myself, is it my mouth that is going to say something when she's with her mom? Her mom way elderly. Maybe her mom is maybe my mom's age. I don't know. She's maybe in her 50s or 60s. That was an elderly woman and they were together. So if you are traveling with your mom and your mom doesn't have a problem with what you're wearing, or is the case of maybe your mom has spoken and your mom is tired of saying it, we don't know. Do you understand? So we, I don't know. I know I'm saying plenty of things at the same time, but me, oh, my own training and my upbringing will not even allow. It won't. Nah. Last year, when we started last year, I said to myself that my new aesthetic was going to be wearing miniskirts. Ask me if I'm still more miniskirts. I have not. Again, because I don't know why I wanted to start wearing miniskirt. Maybe because of the things that are around me, social media. I was like, oh, I think I have nice legs. But at the same time, I'm like, it's saying yellow come by. That's what you want to start wearing. But
and the fashion moves on and on. In
yes,
the days of our mothers, there were
yes,
mini skirts,
yes,
but there was still a bit of sanity. You
yes.
understand? There still was
Mhm.
bottom line for me is, what are your own values? Your dressing, how
Mhm.
you appear, says a lot about yourself. That
Mhm.
is the truth. I have seen that part that I talked about. I'm talking about indecent dressing. Yes, it is very subjective, but what we have in the VAP Act, the VAP Act 2015 in section 46 says indecent exposure. Now listen, indecent exposure is intentional exposure of the genital organs, stroke, substantial parts thereof, with the intention of causing distress to the other party. So it is the court that can actually now say, yes, is indecent, if they can prove that, one, you were intentional about it, and two, it caused distress to the other party.
Mhm.
So generally speaking, it's just there. Who has the time to go to the court to say, the way this lady dressed,
Yeah.
a bit of distress to me, and all that and all that, but I believe that Nigerians, we still value, our customs, and the beliefs that we have, that it's the way you dress that you will be accorded respect. Yeah, so for me, it's dress appropriately. You can't say you're going to an interview and you dress as if you're going to a club. It's not possible. You are going into the public space. Dress in a manner that will accord you respect in the public, in your house. Do whatever you want to do. Maybe in your family, where your close knit, they call a party, they say a party is half naked, whatever it is, that is that space. But when you come into the public, I think as human beings, we should treat ourselves as human beings. It might not even be for you, but would you make the other person uncomfortable? I mean, somebody dresses, like the lady I saw, I was highly embarrassed at my
Mhm.
gender. And it was like, who trained this one? Ibolo Tiwa, Hello B. You understand? So, but mother's guidance, let's do all we need to do. You can still be beautiful and cover up. You understand? And cover up. I'm not saying wear everything to like this. Yeah. I mean, God has given us that body that we can flex about it, but private parts is private parts. Thank you.
Mhm. Thank you so much, Buki. Okay, this is still Women Radio 91.7 FM, the voice of women, Nigeria's first and only radio station for women and their families. And this is Her Lens. We've been discussing with Buki on our first story for today, that we were just talking about the women leaders in Okrika community in River State took to the streets with their canes in their hands, looking for girls who were indecently in what they said is indecent dressing, and beating them. And of course, social media has come up to say, wait, what kind of fire? Why would you do that? This is lawlessness, because why would you take law into your hand? Did they break any law? What is it? A lot of people believe that, oh, they are protecting their husbands. Maybe the men are looking at them. That's why they are taken to the streets. They are tired of fighting. There are men running after girls, in scantily dressed girls, they would say. Some people think that there are people that also said, where was this energy when there was the the purported rape festival in Delta State? Nobody came out. We did not see women leaders coming out to say, oh, it was true, it was not true. Different people have come out to say, people have also come out to say that women do not support women. Do you think, Buki, it is a justified is the accusation to say that women don't support women? Because we've seen time and time again. So for instance, this morning on Newspaper Review, we were talking about some things on social media, and I had given the instance of this woman. We're talking about gender-based violence, and I had pivoted to this woman who came up on social media to say that in the family she went to, you cannot, they don't used to give birth by CS in that family. There is only natural birth. And she had come out to say how women who give birth by C-section are lazy. And that's like the most ludicrous statement that somebody can make. A fellow woman, because you can women have C-sections for a wide range of reasons. It could be complications, it could be even if the woman decided that she wanted to have elective, that doesn't mean that she's lazy. Anybody who's gone through a C-section knows that far from it's not lazy at all. So even you have conversations like, breastfeeding is better to breastfeed your child than take formula, which is the truth. But what happens when a woman decides that she wants to feed her children, her baby via formula, either because of work or maybe sometimes choice? And we see that most times that these statements are made, they are made by women. Do you think that long way? Yeah, please go ahead.
I feel that it's we're talking out of ignorance, and we have more information now. If you had probably looked about maybe 50 or 60 or 70 years ago, you say, oh, women do not support. But when you begin to look at some different areas, like in the business world, in the economy world, women support women. Almost empowerment programs, you see a woman behind it, pushing, the other ladies up. But when it comes to politics, well, yes, we are not doing so well in that area. And then when it comes to family matters, like what you have just mentioned now, it's a mindset thing that gradually it will fade away. It will fade away. You remember even the genital mutilation. I mean, it was women that will say no, they must do it. But you now have women that are saying no, they are not going to do it anymore. So as we continue talking and we continue to create the awareness, we are helping all the ladies that, let me put it in context, that they're in bondage, and we are freeing them. We are free them from their minds. It's because they never knew that CS is a whole lot. They believe that, you have to push naturally to be a woman. You understand? CS in those days go possible now. You understand?
Yeah.
That it's a lazy way of doing it. It's just to cut and all that. But people are not knowing that, hey, it is not. A lot of women have died because they refused to do CS. And of course, the process of natural was very difficult for them. We will continue to talk, we'll continue to create that awareness so that we can free people from the bondages that culture, tradition, society has molded them into.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's quickly see if we can touch on this second one. Our president, when made a statement about how, and we talked about this a little bit on the Newspaper Review, but about how, we know that fuel is biting, the prices are hard, but go to countries like Kenya and other African countries. I was like, pardon, sir? Because, sir, if you've been to Kenya, you will know that it's not Kenya that you should be using as a country of comparison to Nigeria. Kenya exchange rate is going toe to toe, almost toe to toe to the dollar. Kenya's exchange rate is what our exchange rate used to be how many years ago, and that's the country that you want to be comparing us with. Have you been to Kenya? Have you seen? They have lights in Kenya. They have facilities in Kenya. Their economy is good. Their GDP is high. Their tourist industry is booming. But who am I? I'm just a bloody Nigerian. But yes, please go ahead, Buki.
Okay, so why do presidents, or why do leaders actually make comparison? I must say this, that people are informed now. Maybe before the advent of internet, I mean, they can bamboozle you, do everything. But with the internet, at the touch of a button, you can compare living standard of Kenya with Nigeria, and everything will come out good. So I'm sure the comments will have reached out to him that that Kenya where you put, try yoga, try, but let us even look at why presidents actually do these things, or leaders. One, they want to manage expectations. They want to tell you that, okay, like let's come back to President Tinubu. Okay, fuel subsidy removal and exchange rate. That yes, it's hard though, but some other countries also are having that. It's just to manage expectations, and then of course to justify policy direction, that this is the reason why we are doing this, so so that we are better positioned and all that. And then of course to also bring a bit of patience to people, that now they are talking about relax, relax, Tinubu is working. There's something relax here. That's something, or something. I said, okay, you understand? But really, if we look at Kenya, like you said, some metrics, Kenya is better than us in some metrics. I think the only place where I see for now, I mean, maybe when one does a deeper search, would be like Nairobi. They have the fuel price, the fuel prices are higher. Yeah, electricity cost is higher, and they are heavily taxed. Heavily taxed.
But they fought the tax already. They fought the tax last year.
Yes. But in terms of income and purchasing power, their currency is stable. Like, not like us, that it fluctuates. You can predict over there. You can predict. Your earning power is good. And then in terms of infrastructure, you mentioned it. I mean, it's better in terms of planning. I mean, talk about electricity, it has been consistent. Not this one that it will break 8 times. 8 times in a year. I mean, I was even still reading. Somebody was saying that Adelabu, you gave us 2 weeks, so the 2 weeks don't knock. What have you done? And then of course, when you talk about poverty rate and inequality, yes, we have extreme gaps, but in terms of Kenya, not that they don't have that, okay, but they are more structured in terms of their social system. So I really do not know why you used Kenya. Maybe Kenya just came out, or I don't know, maybe the person who prepared
that was the wrongest country to even use, and even if he was going to use other countries, I think the first base level is that whatever country you're going to use, they have light. Let's start from there. And we know that power is a major source of our economic, I don't know, whatever is going on in our economy is power. Power is a major source. I was teasing Rose which day. I saw a tweet that said Iran is fighting war and Iran has lights. And those are the things that we see, that you're like, okay, even the countries that you're comparing us with, they still even have facilities. They still even have things that we cannot compare to. So why would you even open your mouth in the first? I think that statement was even devoid of any form of sympathy or empathy whatsoever, because you can't just say, I know that it's biting hard, but manage. Because what are you talking about? You're not talking about, okay, these are the things that we're going to do to make sure that Nigerians, to cushion the effect, basically. Okay, are we thinking about maybe bring subsidy back, maybe not in full but partially, to help Nigerians? We're looking at fuel at 1,002 and we're acting normal. That cannot be normal. This cannot be our new reality. So when he made that statement, I mean, to be honest, I can say this because I'm now on HerLens. I cannot say my full chest on this review, but like, you have to be a president that has empathy and sympathy for the people. Compassion is so lacking when I hear the president speak. Even when he went to Jos, is lacking. Like, I don't know. God will help
Well,
us.
yeah, I agree that as a president, you must have empathy, which actually, yes, he mentioned it, that he's aware of what people are going through, and things like that. And let's give it to him as well. There's some things, there's some reforms, there's some policies, there's some things that he does, out of that empathy. He is still a human being, he's not perfect, and he works with people. So at times, if you're not very careful, some people that you work with can actually lead you to make mistakes and things like that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And then of course, for me, where I would have even mentioned that that he ought not have said that, was when he mentioned that he was telling them that you people are better off. Well, so for me it was like, oh, so they're better off. So are they supposed to be better off? They're supposed to be feeling the same pinch, that the Nigerians,
Yeah.
are feeling. You understand? So the reforms I expect from him is that, I mean, just like Obama, anything you are eating or whatever, you go pay for it. That they pay from their salary, they pay from their whatever, not that there is an amount that is there, so that they will know. They will know that, hey, this thing is biting. Even your car, your official car, they give you a certain vote. You understand? It's not going to be free. Just go and pump fuel anyhow, and then they will now have about 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 exports. So, but let's give it to him. There are some reforms that he's doing, and then of course we're expecting more, because, like I would always say, when he was saying, what I had was that in Milocom, that I want to do it better. Depending on what you hear, this Milocom statement, Milocom system, my own, that is my own interpretation, that people, you have been doing it or you did not do it well now. So give it to me. It's my turn now to do it well. So it is that well that I want to see in all ramifications. And there are some that it ticks the box, and there are some that we can say, President Ejo, at least I am, in terms of power, I know he released about 3.3 billion, though it's going to be an installment to clear backlog for 10 years. Can you imagine? So he's doing his bit. When, to be honest, we sit on this side, we think is rosy. But when you shift,
absolutely.
When you shift to their, I feel sorry for him. But the truth about it is that you are the one that said, I want to be voted for. I can do it. So you just have to do it. Don't say, oh, the seat is very hot. You knew the seat was very hot, so you should have come with, the capacity to sit on that hot seat and get it done. But we can only support them with prayers. That's what the Bible says. The Bible says that we should lift up our leaders. We should always pray for them. It says that when the righteous are in power, the people will rejoice. So we need to begin to pray, for our leaders, and also pray that we have more righteous people in power. Thank you.
Thank you so much. With that being said, we have come to the end of HerLens this morning. Today we deliberated on dressing, and then we just rounded off with the president saying he understands, but we should not, at least we have it better than some countries. I mean, do with that what you will, literally. Thank you so much, Buki, for coming on HerLens tomorrow.
Thank you.
Today, I was thinking about tomorrow. Coming on HerLens today, and I hope to see you tomorrow on another edition of HerLens. So that being said, thank you to everyone who's called our caller. We had just one call today, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. Catch you same time tomorrow on another edition, and stick around with us on Women Reading 91.7 for greater and better programming. Thank you once again, Ricky.